The tragic case of Mohammed Shami stands as a harrowing reminder of the hidden dangers of domestic violence, even within seemingly successful families. Mohammed Shami, a renowned neurosurgeon, and his wife, Alana Frick Shamsi, a respected family doctor, were admired for their professional achievements. However, beneath the facade of their accomplishments lay a dark and violent reality that culminated in a shocking crime. Domestic violence remains a pervasive issue worldwide, affecting individuals regardless of their social status, profession, or background. Victims often endure abuse in silence, blaming themselves and feeling trapped in their situations. The stigma surrounding domestic violence can prevent victims from seeking help, and society's misconceptions further complicate their plight. Contrary to the belief that domestic violence is prevalent only in dysfunctional families, statistics reveal that it can occur in any household, irrespective of socioeconomic status. Mohammed Shami and Alana Frick Shamsi were not just any couple. They were luminaries in the medical field. Mohammed had made significant strides in neurosurgery, particularly in the treatment of spine injuries and diseases. His expertise and dedication had earned him a stellar reputation. Alana, on the other hand, was a celebrated family doctor with a PhD, known for her compassionate care and profound knowledge. Their professional lives were a testament to their capabilities and contributions to medicine, making the revelation of their private turmoil all the more shocking. When the case of Mohammed Shami came to light, it sent ripples of disbelief and horror through the community. The public learned that the man they revered for his medical prowess had confessed to a crime that shattered the image of his family and exposed the brutal reality of domestic violence. Mohammed Shami's confession to the murder of his wife Alana was a desperate attempt to spare their daughter from the trauma of testifying in court. This case not only highlighted the personal tragedy, but also underscored the complexities and hidden struggles of domestic violence victims. The story of Mohammed and Alana serves as a grim reminder that domestic violence knows no boundaries and can infiltrate even the most accomplished and respected households. Alana Christina Frick was born in September 1977 in Windsor, Ontario, a vibrant city located in the southern part of Canada. Her parents, George and Anna Frick, had emigrated from Croatia to North America in the early 1970s, seeking a better life. Alana was the younger of two daughters, and her birth was considered a miracle due to the complications her mother had faced after her first pregnancy. This special status only strengthened the bond within the Frick family, and Alana shared a particularly close relationship with her older sister, Caroline. Growing up, Alana was a determined and ambitious child, excelling in her studies and demonstrating a passion for learning from an early age. Her parents, who both worked at a large car factory, strived to provide their daughters with a good education despite their modest means. Alana's academic prowess was evident as she consistently performed at the top of her class, while also engaging in extracurricular activities such as dance, gymnastics, and track and field. During her middle school years, Alana showed a strong sense of responsibility by working in the cornfields during summer breaks to help support her family. Her diligence and ability to manage her finances wisely set her apart from her peers. By high school, Alana had decided to pursue a career in medicine, inspired by her love for science and her desire to help others. She graduated as the valedictorian of her class and was accepted into a prestigious medical university. Around this time, Alana began a romantic relationship with Matthew Ryan, a young man she had known since high school. Their relationship blossomed during their university years as they both pursued studies in the medical field. However, as Alana's aspirations led her to Ottawa for further studies, Matthew remained at a local hospital, content with his career. The long-distance nature of their relationship eventually took its toll, and by 2002, they mutually decided to part ways, remaining friends as Alana focused on her medical residency. In February 2003, during a night shift at the hospital, Alana's life took a significant turn when she met Mohammed Shami, a new colleague who was just beginning his residency in the neurosurgery department. Mohammed, a year older than Alana, came from a family of distinguished doctors. He was born and raised in Ottawa, the son of the renowned surgeon Farid Shami and his wife Edith, a talented psychiatrist. Mohammed's older brother Ali was an experienced medical biophysicist, adding to the family's illustrious medical background. Mohammed's educational journey had taken him to Yale University, where he and his brother graduated with honors. He later returned to Canada to pursue his doctorate at Western Ontario's Research University. Despite his impressive credentials, Mohammed initially appeared reserved and introverted, a stark contrast to Alana's outgoing and determined nature. Alana was immediately attracted to Mohammed and made efforts to get to know him better. However, their early interactions were fraught with challenges. Mohammed's detached demeanor and lack of initiative often left Alana feeling uncertain about his feelings. Unbeknownst to her, Mohammed was already involved with another woman, a fact he chose to keep hidden from Alana. Despite these obstacles, Alana's persistence never wavered. She believed she had found her soulmate in Mohammed and was determined to win his affection. Their relationship experienced numerous ups and downs, with the couple breaking up multiple times within the first year. Each time, it was Alana's unwavering determination that brought them back together. Her parents, concerned about the tumultuous nature of their relationship, advised her to move on, but Alana remained steadfast in her belief that Mohammed was the one for her. Throughout this period, Alana went out of her way to shower Mohammed with affection, gifts, and home-cooked meals, hoping to win his heart. Mohammed, while not entirely unresponsive, often seemed content to let Alana's love and efforts sustain the relationship without reciprocating equally. This dynamic created an emotional dependency for Alana, setting the stage for the turbulent years that followed. In the summer of 2004, Alana Frick discovered she was pregnant. The news, which should have brought joy, instead caused anxiety for both her and Mohammed Shami. Despite the uncertainty, Mohammed, who was raised with strict conservative values, felt compelled to marry Alana before the birth of their child. In early September of that year, the couple had two wedding ceremonies, one adhering to Mohammed's cultural customs and the other a more contemporary celebration with friends at a trendy restaurant. From the outside, the newlyweds appeared happy and in love, but their marriage quickly turned into a nightmare. In January 2005, Alana and Mohammed welcomed their first child, a daughter named Yasmina. While Alana was overjoyed, Mohammed's reaction was one of disappointment. He had hoped for a son. This sentiment set the tone for the early years of their marriage. Mohammed became increasingly focused on his career, leaving Alana to manage the household and care for their newborn almost single-handedly. His neglect grew more apparent as he spent little time with his family, retreating to his home office after work and showing little interest in their daughter. Alana's life became one of increasing isolation. Mohammed's initial indifference soon evolved into verbal abuse. He criticized her appearance, dismissed her efforts in managing the home, and demeaned her intelligence. Alana, once a vibrant and ambitious woman, found herself withdrawing from friends and family, choosing to suffer in silence. She kept the reality of her marriage hidden, not even confiding in her close friends or parents. The situation took a darker turn in the summer of 2005. During a particularly heated argument, Mohammed's anger boiled over, and he struck Alana, breaking her nose. Shocked and terrified, Alana fled with her baby to a friend's house and filed a police report for domestic violence. She resolved to leave Mohammed, ready to end the abusive marriage once and for all. However, Mohammed, sensing the threat to his career and reputation, began to manipulate Alana emotionally. He begged for her forgiveness, promising he would never harm her again and swearing that he would change. Faced with Mohammed's apparent remorse and desperate pleas, Alana decided to give him another chance. She withdrew the police report and agreed to accompany him to the United States, where Mohammed was set to continue his education at Duke University. This move marked a temporary period of calm in their turbulent marriage. Mohammed's admission into an elite biomedical engineering program and Alana's enrollment in a master's program at Duke gave them a fresh start. They spent more time together, and their relationship seemed to stabilize. Faisa, the couple's second daughter, was born to Alana in August of 2007, making her the first child of the couple. Mohammed's disappointment was obvious once more, as he had planned to have a son. Another letdown. Nevertheless, the family was able to enjoy a brief moment of normalcy despite this setting. While Mohammed concentrated on his business life, Alana finished her education and started to establish a name for herself in the professional world. On the other hand, the fundamental problems that existed within their marriage never really went away. Following her return to Canada in the latter part of the summer of 2009, Alana promptly started her professional life and was able to secure a prestigious post as a family physician. During this time, Mohammed maintained a healthy balance between his teaching, his work, and his further education. On the surface, they gave the impression of being a prosperous and content couple, and they shared details about their supposedly ideal lives on various social media platforms. Behind closed doors, however, Mohammed continued to engage in abusive verbal behavior and domineering behavior. His emotional distance continued to grow as he observed Alana's interactions, voiced his disapproval of her parenting, and monitored her contacts. As tensions in their household began to rise once more, the momentary restraint came to an end. The verbal abuse that Mohammed was receiving eventually turned into physical violence once more. Alana did not speak out despite the fact that she was being abused. She did this because she was emotionally dependent on Mohammed and she had hope that things could get better. Because of this silence, a cycle of abuse was maintained, which would finally result in a tragic occurrence. Upon their return to Canada in the latter part of the summer of 2009, Mohammed Shami and Alana Frick presented a polished image of a happy and prosperous family. After returning to their home in Ottawa, they did not waste any time in getting back to work in their respective fields. While Mohammed managed to maintain a healthy balance between his profession, his studies, and his teaching responsibilities, Alana was able to get a prestigious post as a family doctor and earn a strong reputation. It was on social media that they started posting glimpses of their seemingly perfect existence, including pictures of their family going on trips, their career accomplishments, and their expensive vacations. The truth, on the other hand, was very different from what was presented to the public. Mohammed continued to exhibit his controlling behavior, which manifested itself in his relentless criticism of Alana's parenting and appearance, as well as his stringent monitoring of Alana's relationships with other people. Alana continued to suffer from Mohammed's verbal abuse and emotional neglect at home, despite the fact that she was successful in her professional life. The outward perception of their marriage as a happy union hid the continuing conflict that existed within their relationship. Mohammed was presented with an opportunity to participate in a distinguished fellowship in spinal surgery at a major medical center in Calgary in the year 2011. However, he went out on his own, leaving Alana and their children behind in Ottawa. He took the employment, though. Their marriage, which was already in a precarious state, was significantly strained by this arrangement of long-distance living. The fact that Alana found communications from another woman on Mohammed's laptop during one of his visits to his house provided further evidence that she had suspected that he was cheating on her. When Mohammed confronted him directly, he admitted to having an affair, which dealt Alana yet another severe blow. Alana made the decision to give their marriage another try in spite of the betrayal that had occurred. After Mohammed's assurances that he would put an end to the affair and begin over, she decided to forgive him. Since Mohammed had been offered a prestigious and well-paying job in Toronto, the couple decided to go there in the hopes of establishing a more stable family unit. A son named Marius was born to Alana and her husband in October of 2013, making him their third child. In spite of the fact that Mohammed was overjoyed to give birth to a son, his feelings toward Alana remained no different. they continued to be subjected to his violent and domineering behavior, which put a cloud over their life. Both Alana and Mohammed continued to find success in their professional lives despite the personal anguish they were experiencing. While Mohammed established himself as a neurosurgeon who is accredited and known for his ability to handle difficult situations, Alana advanced in her career and became a delegate for the Ontario Medical Association. Despite this, the stress that existed within their marriage continued to increase. Alana's discovery that Mohammed was having yet another affair, this time with a co-worker, further shattered the idea that the family was functioning as a happy one. As Alana was feeling devastated and deceived once more, she confided in her closest friend, who suggested that she engage in a revenge affair as a way to deal with the anguish she was experiencing. Although they initially laughed off the idea, Alana finally pursued a connection with a co-worker who had showed interest in her. Alana was yearning for attention and affirmation, and she eventually pursued a relationship with him. Alana was able to experience the care and attention that she had been deprived of for a considerable amount of time as a result of this affair, which provided her with a temporary escape from her unhappy marriage. The relationship between the couple reached a breaking point in September of 2016, just as they were getting close to celebrating their 12th wedding anniversary. Even though they were celebrating their anniversary in public, Alana and Mohammed were having a secret argument about their future together. Alana was adamant about her desire to divorce Mohammed, and she took the necessary procedures to seek the advice of a divorce attorney. Their disagreements became increasingly heated, culminating in a final dramatic encounter on November 25, 2016, when Alana informed Mohammed of her desire to divorce, that she was going to divorce him. The following day, Alana traveled for a medical conference that would last for 3 days. During this time, Mohammed sent her a barrage of texts, appealing with her to give him another opportunity. In her final phone call to her parents, which she made on November 30th after returning home, Alana told them that everything was great, despite the fact that she seemed anxious during the call. Unfortunately, later that evening, Alana made an attempt to phone the police, but in her distress she made a mistake in her dialing. An dispute that ultimately proved to be fatal between Mohammed and Alana took place in the early hours of December 1st, 2016. Mohammed was so overcome with rage that he repeatedly attacked Alana and ultimately committed suicide by strangling her. The couple's eldest daughter, Yasmina, who was 12 years old, was there during a portion of the dispute. Nevertheless, she did not completely comprehend the gravity of the situation. The lifeless body of Alana was then packed in a suitcase by Mohammed, who then drove to a remote site and disposed of it by the river. On the next morning, the body of Alana was found, and Mohammed was subsequently arrested, which caused their community to be outraged. The case brought to light the horrible reality that lay behind the surface of their seemingly ideal family life. It brought to light the tragic consequences of domestic violence and the profound impact that it has on victims and the people who are closest to them. Mohammed Shami made a frantic phone call to his parents on December 1st, 2016, alleging that Alana had fled after a heated disagreement between the two of them. He made up a tale about Alana fleeing the house in a fit of rage, claiming that she needed some time to herself and that she had left without bringing her phone or money with her. The following morning, Mohammed continued to maintain his deception, stating that Alana had merely needed a break from the stress of their unhappy marriage. This was in response to the growing concern that neighbors and acquaintances were experiencing regarding Alana's sudden disappearance. With that being said, the truth was revealed in a manner that was both terrible and horrifying. A jogger who was out walking near the river later that afternoon found Alana's body inside a suitcase. The body was found in the bag. The news soon spread, and the authorities swiftly connected the discovery to Alana's disappearance after it was made public. The results of the autopsy indicated that there had been a violent struggle, and the conclusion that was reached was that Alana had been strangled. In 2016, Mohammed was taken into custody on December 2nd. In the beginning, he continued to deny any involvement in Alana's death. However, the accumulation of evidence and the presence of his eldest daughter Yasmina, who had partially observed the fatal conflict, led him to come to a conclusion. Mohammed confessed to the murder on the grounds that he wanted to save his daughter the emotional anguish of having to testify against him. He described the night in frightening detail, telling how a verbal dispute had evolved into physical violence, culminating with him strangling Alana. He also offered specifics about the night. Her body was placed in a suitcase, and he drove to a remote spot in order to dispose of it. He did this in a state of panic. The beginning of Mohammed's trial in 2017 garnered a tremendous amount of interest from the media. A neurosurgeon who had previously been held in high esteem was now subjected to the intense scrutiny of the public glare. Throughout the course of the trial, Mohammed's legal team made an effort to depict him as a man who had been brought to the edge of insanity by the strain of his personal and professional life. But the prosecution portrayed a devastating picture of a domineering and abusive husband whose actions had culminated in the ultimate act of violence. This was the picture that the prosecution painted. The revelation that Mohammed's father had been involved in attempting to cover up his son's crime was a further development that contributed to the crisis. In an effort to shield his son from the consequences of his actions, Mohammed's father was found to have attempted to tamper with evidence and even provided false alibis. Mohammed's case was further harmed as a result of this disclosure, which also brought to light the lengths that his family was willing to go to in order to protect him from criminal prosecution. In March of 2017, Mohammed Shami was found guilty of murder in the second degree and was sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole for a period of 25 years before being released. Mohammed's acts and the impact they had on his family, particularly his children, were denounced by the judge in his statements on the sentencing procedures. Furthermore, in recognition of the great mental damage that Mohammed's acts had caused his children, it was forbidden for him to communicate with them. Following the tragic death of their daughter, Alana's parents took on the task of raising their 3 children, Yasmina, Faiza, and Marius. They were saddened by the loss of their daughter. In order to begin the process of rebuilding their lives, the family moved to a more peaceful location, away from the media attention. An environment that was loving and stable was given for the children by Alana's parents. This setting ensured that the children received the emotional support and care that they required in order to recover from the traumatic experiences. It is important to remember that the case of Mohammed Shami serves as a sharp reminder of the hidden realities of domestic violence and the tragic consequences that can result from it. It highlights the significance of detecting the indications of abuse and providing support to those who are in need in order to prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. Thank you for watching. I recommend our other crime videos.